Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Creating Intuitively. I am Melissa, and I am the artist behind Sacred Solutions Art. I'm so excited to be with you guys here today for another episode. If this is your first time watching, I focus on abstract pieces that are made from acrylic paint, and I embed crystals, healing gemstones, and sand, other earth elements all into my paintings. I create everything from my intuition. So that's where the intuitive art title comes from. So this platform, Creating Intuitively, is a way for me to connect with other artists who work in a similar way, who use art as a form of therapy and who use it to heal. And if you don't create art and if you haven't created art for a long time, I hope to be a resource for you to help connect you back with that inner artist and show you that art is a safe place for you to really express all the parts of yourself. So welcome back. I just wanted to thank everyone who watched my first episode. I got such great feedback from you guys. It was such a breath of fresh air, when you're coming up with a new idea and you're not sure what people are going to think of it. It's just so refreshing to see that, you connected with my points, that you heard me. So thank you so much for watching the video and for, letting me know that you liked it and for being here again today. If this is your first time watching, welcome. And I hope that Creating Intuitively can be a space and community for you to find comfort in your creative gifts. So welcome. Today's episode is going to be all about how to clear your creative blocks in order to make room and space for inspiration to flow through. I'm really excited to touch base on this topic because I feel like more than ever, I shouldn't say more than ever, but in a very drastic way, 2020 has been difficult to find inspiration for a lot of different reasons. Being an intuitive artist and creating from how I feel when things are going on that just are so uncertain and at times negative and scary, it can feel like, wow, I really don't want to create on how I feel right now because it's nothing positive. So I think in the beginning of the year, I felt that very heavily, especially from, I would say February until June. Like, it was kind of hard for me to create on anything. And then as the year got on, I realized if there's any time I should be creating, it should be now. I can't wait to, look back 5-10 years from now and look back at the art that I made in 2020, just because this has been such a impactful year for all of us. So I was excited to make this video because I feel like sparking inspiration is a lot more than just coming up with an idea. It really is all about how you treat yourself. And that's something that I talk about in my previous video. How you treat yourself as an artist and how you honor your body and your mind and spirit really reflects within your work. I always call Sacred Solutions a physical display of inner peace within the mind, body, and spirit. And I feel that so heavily because I feel that what I've created from Sacred Solutions is literally something tangible that you can look at, that is a display, a physical display of the inner work that I've done within myself. I find inspiration through that. I find inspiration through clearing myself and letting myself be in a good space in order to create. I do that, but I also wanted to touch base on, working through the blocks that arise and how to get yourself in a consistent, steady flow as an artist. That way you feel consistently like, I can create right now and I feel good enough to create right now. So that comes to my first point, which is one way to, help clear your blocks and get room for inspiration to flow. The first thing is going to be to let go of the fact that you think you need to be good enough to start creating, that you have to wait until you feel like at a certain point for you to start making art. And an example of that is going to be throughout the year, so much has happened, so much has changed, and you might feel like, oh, I can't start creating until I get past this block and this block. I feel that creating will help you move through the blocks, if that makes sense. I had to learn that in my own way because I am very guilty of that myself. One of the things that I want to talk about in how to create space within yourself to spark inspiration to create is going to be letting go of the fact that you think you need to be in a perfect situation in order to get started on your creative craft, or just get started on the next dimension of what you're working on, or to pick up your creativity that you have left off for a while. Why I want to touch base on that is because it's something that I've been guilty of myself. Earlier in the year, I got laid off from my full-time job due to the pandemic, and then a few months later, I had to go through a breakup. So it's been life event after life event for me and for a lot of people in the world right now. I felt myself really waiting and letting myself sulk in what I was going through and waiting for it to pass before I started creating, instead of creating even though I wasn't feeling good, and knowing like, okay, maybe I'm creating these pieces and they're not going to be my best work, but it's using the art as a therapy to get yourself back to that place that you feel your absolute best at. Not necessarily waiting until you feel 100% in order to create. It's just stepping into it will help you feel ready and feel like I can do this. It's just a matter of actually stepping into it and taking that first step to work on that painting or work on that drawing, or just express yourself creatively and letting your gifts really support you through the hard times, and not neglecting them because you feel like you're not worthy enough to create. And I'm speaking on this because it's something that I need to tell myself more. And I think it's so important to just know that at any time you are worthy of creating, you are worthy of expressing yourself through art. By doing that, by practicing your craft and by consistently working on it, it's just about taking that first step to really say, okay, I'm going to do this. And then moving into it will really help you and give you inspiration to continue to make things that you really love and that others love too. Some of my pieces that I've created in times that I haven't really felt 100% my best have sold to people who think that they're like the best paintings I've ever made. So regardless of what you make, your art will speak to the right people. So just create it anyways. Another way to really, honor your space for inspiration, I feel like doing things to come back into your body really helps spark inspiration. And some self-care practices that I personally love and adore, number one would be meditation. I feel like it's such a great way to connect with your body. Honestly, the best time to do it is when you first wake up. Setting your alarm for 10 minutes earlier than you normally would, and letting yourself just sit with yourself for 10 minutes and breathe, and really let yourself release everything that you're feeling, the anxiety, the nervousness you might have for the day, any expectations you have of the day, and just really getting that space out and honoring what's within before you begin your day. And I like to literally hold my hands on my belly and envision a fishbowl. Like it helps me. And I picture like water going in and out of the fishbowl, and that's my breath. And I just picture like breathing in and then breathing out and letting the fishbowl of water flow in and out. It's really just about giving yourself that time to really go within before you start your day and before you create. And I start each painting with a really deep meditation, and it helps me listen to my guides and listen to my body and what is going on. That way I'm creating from a place that is soul based rather than analytical based. I don't like to create from a space that feels very structured. I like to just let my work flow. So meditating helps me really connect with my spirit guides and my body, and helps me realize what's going on within and in the collective before I begin my day, before I paint. And it's a really great way to spark inspiration just by giving yourself that awareness of yourself and the universe. Another way to spark inspiration is to be in nature. So for me, I love to run. I have been a runner for many years. I like running in beautiful places. I'm really lucky enough to live right next to Mission Bay, and I just love staring at the water. When I was younger, I used to run at a lake, and I remember just being within nature, seeing the trees, seeing the water, seeing the sidewalks, seeing the people, the animals, everything that is within nature can spark inspiration with you, especially if you are an artist. The way the clouds change, the way the sky looks at the time, you can find so much inspiration just by getting outside and feeling the sun on your skin, really realizing we are a part of something that is so much bigger than us. And let that reflect in your work, no matter what your work is. If you're a photographer, a drawer, if you like to sculpt, if you're into ceramics, whatever it is that you do, connecting with nature will give you inspiration, because the universe, God is the creator and has made all of these beautiful colors and creations and landscapes for us to really sit in awe with. And as artists and as creative individuals and as spiritual beings, it's really our birthright to just honor everything that's around us that has been created, and to take inspiration away from that. So for me, it's the sand, it's the rocks, it's the branches on the trees. Anything that's very earthy gives me so much inspiration to create, because it's so effortless. Like when you look at the sand or the pebbles in the ground, and the way the waves kind of flow onto the shore, or if you're in nature where there's a lot of trees, if you look at the tree trunks and just the dimensions and the textures of the different plants that are in nature, it really gives you an idea of how effortlessly beautiful so many things are. And that's the same thing you should reflect in your art, because the most beautiful art, in my opinion, is just so effortlessly made, and looking at nature will help give you that inspiration. Another thing that helps me spark inspiration is connecting with other artists. I love, and that's one of the main reasons I wanted to make this channel and this platform, is to just connect with other artists that are out there. I am on Instagram and I see so many other insanely talented painters and drawers. I saw one girl the other day that was making these intense collages from recycled newspapers and magazines. And I love connecting with other artists and seeing what you guys are doing. And I think that it would be a great way for others to find inspiration as well, because it gives you inspiration and confidence and ideas to go back to your own work and remember the colors you saw in somebody else's painting, and do it in your own way. And I think as artists, it's so important to remember that each of us have such unique gifts that could really never be duplicated. And it's like, if you give someone your sauce recipe, everyone's sauce is still going to taste different. It's completely true. It's the same thing with art. So I love getting inspiration from other artists, and I hope that there's other artists that find inspiration from me. And I think that that is such a powerful tool to really spark inspiration within yourself. Another way that I love to spark inspiration, to honor space to create, is reading. I love to read, and I feel that reading really gets my mind working, especially with some of my favorite books. I can just pick it up and start reading a few pages and then be like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to create. I'm ready to step into this. A few books that are my favorite that spark inspiration would be, number one is The Art of Living by Bob Proctor. Everyone that I've given that book to is just obsessed with it, and it makes me so happy. It's that kind of book that you can just pick up and turn to any page at any time and read it, and it's just literal gold that you're reading. It talks a lot about, honoring your inner child and, honoring your self-purpose and really connecting with the universe in a way that is to your advantage. That way you can be of service to others. And it's a beautiful read. Another book that I love is Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. That is a beautiful book, especially if you're very in touch with your spirituality. It is a great read that talks about working your individual light to reflect on others. And another book that I love is The Alchemist. It's a book that it's more of a storytelling book, but it's about a shepherd who travels to the Egyptian pyramids. It's so wonderful to read just because it really takes you within the time and the place that he's in. And it sparks inspiration to me because it's such a wonderful story to really take you from where you are and put you in a different place. And it's all about finding your life purpose and connecting with the universe, seeing the signs and understanding and communicating with your omens that come up. But I'm so excited that I got to, be with you guys here again today and talk about some of the things that spark inspiration for me. And I really hope that you can find comfort in these things as well. Before I end the video, I'm gonna do a quick card pulling for everyone who's watching. So I pull from the Oracle Starseed deck by Rebecca Campbell, who wrote Light is the New Black. So I just want to pull a card for us to see what our guides are wanting to say today. But before we do that, we can ground the energy with a quick meditation. So place your hands on your belly. Just feel yourself connected with the world that we're in. Breathe in all the inspiration that you're wanting to take away from this video and from the world around you, and let it fill you completely up to the utmost of your ability. And then breathe out any blocks that you feel are stopping you from being the fullest of your capability within your art and within life. And I want to thank everyone that's watching and thank the collective for bringing us all together and for giving us space and health and wealth in order to be here today and giving us the space to create and the inspiration to create. And we have so much faith in you and your plan for us. And as we enter this new Vesta, this new year, this new chapter, we pray that you just continue to guide us in the divine direction of our authenticity. So this is really hilarious because I pulled the same card, Deep Cellular Healing, which is the same card that I pulled from the last video, and also the same card that I pulled last night. So I pulled a card just for myself tonight and I got the same card. So Deep Cellular Healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. This is the card. That's very interesting. Because it's the second time that I've pulled the card, I feel like I want to read from the book what exactly it was. I know I didn't on the last video. Deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Your body knows how to heal. Healing is your natural state. Physical and emotional disharmony can be a reflection of how the world, inner and outer, has been out of alignment. If you're suffering from a mystery or chronic illness, don't allow yourself to think you've done something wrong. Today, it's difficult to navigate our health. If this card has made its way to you, you're being called to focus on your healing in practical ways, to prioritize your health, to be kind and tender to your miraculous body, to give yourself the grounding care you need, to put your body first, to nourish yourself as you would a newborn baby, to treat yourself with tender care. You may be called to switch things up with your body or your emotional well being, to call in a team of helpers to support you in navigating any challenges you may be experiencing emotionally. The Octurians are a galactical group of beings who have mastered deep cellular and emotional healing. They want you to know that it's possible to feel vibrant in your body and well in your skin, to have your cells return to its vitality, to find calmness and contentness, to have a soothed nervous system and a tranquil heart. So, we're talking a lot about nourishing your body and putting your self care and your body first. I do feel like that's ironic because talking about, sparking inspiration today, a lot of my topics had to do with, taking care of you and taking care of your body and your mind before you create, because your art is really a reflection of you, and how you take care of yourself is so important. For me, just a few things that I'm doing right now to honor my body is, after Thanksgiving, I decided to do a juice cleanse. Even though my family is mostly vegan, we didn't have any dairy products in Thanksgiving, and we tried to eat very little meat. But coming back home from Thanksgiving, I felt this weight, and I know we have the new moon and all the wonderful things happening this month up until the 21st, and I felt myself needing to clear out my body to make room for all of these new Vestas to come in that are happening. I decided to do a juice cleanse, and I'm on day 2 right now, and I feel really good. I was still able to go for a run, but I love doing cleanses, and I also love intermittent fasting, things that allow your body to really take a reset and a break from any distractions, to really focus in on what your mind is trying to tell you and getting in touch with your body and yourself. I feel like that card was definitely pulled because I feel like such a main focus of me lately has been trying to really take care of myself and honor my health above all. And by honoring my health, I can reflect that within my artwork. And health is just as equal, it's mind, body, and spirit. It's really, taking the time to nourish your mind and to give your mind the relaxation that it needs. It's taking care of your body, eating foods that feel amazing, making sure you stretch and exercise and talk nicely to your body and your hair and your skin, and just make sure that you're really nourishing yourself as the living, breathing body that you are. And then it's honoring that relationship with spirit and understanding that you have this team, you have this collective, you have God and the universe, and whatever the faith it is that you believe in, you have it all at the tip of your fingertips. The universe is really there to support you and there to have your back. I feel like that card was pulled definitely for a reason 3 times in a row now. So I am so excited to, conclude this video, and I can't wait to connect with you guys here again. Thank you so much for listening.